All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well. Salutation, much love to Yakim out there pushing out his word and truth and sincerity. Brothers from Great Millstone, Tampa, back with another weekly lesson, Lord, as well as edifying. And we're just going to go into some end time news, man. The prophecies speaking loud and clear. All right, edging closer and closer to the end. But we'll start on this. Actually, get Joel 3 and 9. Read that real quick, and then I'll bring out the article.
Got you right here, brother. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up."
Yep, there you go, man. So what's taking place right now is there's a bunch of the Lord said, Jehoshaphat said there's gonna be wars and rumors of wars. All right. So what you got going on right now is the whole Ukraine situation with Russia and China. They just had a joint meeting today, Putin and Zai, whatever his name is from China, and they were talking about that they would be together, in case of a war with America. All right, so let me get this real quick. Pull this article up because this is the main thing we looking for, the shit going down in the Middle East. Because by default, that's when these other nations is gonna have to get into it. So let me zoom in here a little bit. All right, so this is on RT. It says, how realistic is an Iran, or it's like, is it Israel and Iran war? And this is from a former intelligence officer, the Marines. I guess he was or they had a little quote of him. Okay, so but here's I'm just gonna read a little bit of it. It says, the drums of war have been beating loudly. If one were to take the recent headlines about Israel and Iran seriously, which you should, because the earth is on an all-out chaos. All right, wars, rumors of war. Soon it's going to be physical tensions, man. Remember last year, 2 years ago, whatever, they had killed the prime. What was he? He was the top official of Iran, and what did Iran do? They what's up? Okay, they had
general, I believe.
Yeah, kind of. They had immediately retaliated, which they're going to speak on that a little bit here. It says, but Israel cannot act militarily against Iran without U.S. support, and U.S. will never support such an action, which is bullshit. But they're gonna have to get involved. Get Jeremiah 50 and 45. Hold that real quick. Let me see where the other point was. So pretty much, they're going into how Israel wants them to America to put even stricter economic sanctions, tighten up the sanctions, all right, to diminish their nuclear, their Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities, all right, and they're doing shit behind the scenes that they don't tell you about. Where was it? Okay, here it is. It says U.S. support of any Israeli military attack on Iran is critical, with former Deputy Chief of the General Staff Eyal Zamir noting that while Israel would always act in its own interest, it would be challenged to launch such an operation without coordinating with the Americans, because that's their they're the ones that protect them gutter rats over there, man. America, everybody else is disgusted with them. It says Zamir's reticence reflects a growing consensus among experts that Israel lacks the military capability to sustain a viable military campaign against Israel or Iran. So that's exactly why they haven't done anything, boldly anyway, against Iran, because first of all, they know Iran, they on point. All right, they're ready to go to war, and who's backing them, which we getting into that in a little bit here. Man, where's that one part where it said okay, here it is. It says, I'll just read this whole thing. It says, Israel recognizes the reality that while any overt military action against Israel, I guess they meant Iran, can probably be ruled out at this juncture, Israel can and will continue to enact covert action inside Iran designed to destroy Iran's ability to manufacture missiles and enrich uranium. So this is acts of war, man. They telling them what they can't do. Here it is. Iran just put out, in their news, Tehran news or whatever, of spots they would attack. All right, where they would send missiles if they were attacked by Israel. It says to this effect, Israel has reportedly closely coordinated with the U.S. on a series of past operations, including 3 that targeted Iran's nuclear infrastructure and 1 which destroyed a missile production facility, and is more than likely letting the Biden administration know about other actions it has on the planning board. It said Israeli analysts have concluded that these operations, including the alleged assassination of a top Iranian nuclear scientist, have set back Iran's nuclear program by up to 5 years. And that's just hopeful thinking, man. That shit ain't putting them back, man. All right, so that's the point, pretty much. Iran's ready to go, man. Israel preparing military option against Iran. See, this is one of the things we're looking for, man. That's what's going to get shit going. Draw these nations into the Middle East even more than they already are. But go ahead, and who got that? Jeremiah 50.
I'm holding it.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, you said verse 45, right?
Yeah, you just read that.
Yep. Verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans.
Because even though the end game is to destroy America off the face of the earth, these other nations are going to be involved. All right. And then America's going because of this, whatever Israel does, and then America goes to help them, it's going to have these NATO, EU, and NATO nations looking at the horror like, man, that's fucked up. So that's what, through the spirit, that's going to be the last straw, so to say, that breaks the camel's back. And then these nations, because some way or another, these nations have to turn their backs on America, and whatever they do to come to the rescue for Israel, these Israelis, that might be the final straw. But keep going, because it's going to explain why this is important. This is Israel and Iran, heat, rumors of war going on, because this is what's going to draw America in, completely in. They ain't gonna have nothing to do but join in on the fun. Go ahead, finish that off though.
I'll start from the top of it again. So Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45 again. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them.
Yeah, there you go. So the least of the flock is the Israel, man. Them gutter rats out there, they're gonna draw who out? Draw Babylon into this thing, and they both gonna be a desolation. Both of America for coming to the rescue of the world's most hated people that you can't speak about wherever you go. Some countries are punishable up to prison for speaking up against these people. Well, America's gonna have to come to the rescue, and they're both gonna be destroyed. Read the next verse, the last verse in that chapter.
Verse 46, the last verse. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations.
Yeah, there you go, man. So the outcome of America coming to the rescue, as the scripture just said, is destruction, man. The earth is gonna move because of the missiles. All right, and everybody's gonna know, oh shit, America just got destroyed. So this is one big prophecy, that we're waiting to take place. But the mark of the beast is gonna be made mandatory, because it's already here. There's niggas buying and selling with this chip as we speak. All right, but as soon as shit gets going, all right, where World War III is full blown, all right, and there's battles being fought everywhere throughout the world, all right, that's when you're gonna know it's over, because the World War III ain't gonna be like World War I and World War II, where it was fought for years and years, 10 years. Nah, it's gonna be over quick, all right, because the weapons of mass destruction, man. And so when America comes to us, let me put this back up there real quick. When America comes into the rescue, all right, like Tarzan swinging off the vines, well, guess what? Who gonna come to the rescue for Iran? Well, let's get Ezekiel 38. because that's biblical prophecy too. Then now we see the tensions are tough right now with America and Russia. Well, that's gonna be again the straw that breaks the camel's back. They're gonna say, "The hell with these damn Americans! They can't. We're putting our foot down." Now, all the nations are already seeing how they dealt with Afghanistan. All right, all the nations are saying that was horrible, right? The nations is like, oh, that was held, that was handled terribly, and now it's all in shits and shambles over there, supposedly according to the Americans. But let me see if I can find an article about China and Russia. But go ahead, y'all got it. Get that 38, Ezekiel 38, and break it down while I look for this.
You want you want to get straight to the point in verse 7, or you want to start up?
You can start up a little bit.
All right. Let me start at verse 4. It says, Ezekiel 38 and 4 says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. And, going back into, what you're seeing is, Russia is pretty much going back into that old, that old Soviet state, more or less to say. All right. They're being brought back forth. All right. And then also, you also see now their advancements to their military and everything else like that, man, being prepared for the day of the Lord, man. All right. And it says, going back into that same verse, it says, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shields and helmets. That's another thing that, you have Russia doing right now is the exportation of all these missile defense systems. All right. I believe there was an article today with Russia in talks with pretty much trying to sell missile defense systems to Saudi Arabia. All right. So, hey, it's getting prepared to go down. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Tomogah of the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. All right. And so, like with the brothers going into, when, how if Israel gets into something, America comes to their aid. But hey, on the other side, Iran and Russia pretty much has a deal the same way. All right. So these things are going to wind up boiling over into what you know of as World War III. All right.
Yeah. And go back up, though, where it was naming the countries.
Yep. I'm going to start back at verse. Going back up to verse 5, it says Persia, which is Iran, the main one that we're talking about here. Persia, Ethiopia. Go ahead.
Persia is Iran, is the Elamites, is Iran, India, all right, Pakistan, probably some in there in Afghanistan, and then Ethiopia, that's where that is. That's Kush. Go ahead.
Right.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet. All right.
Right. So all
Libya is Libya.
All these nations around the Middle East area, and then keep going.
Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Tomogah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee.
That's Turkey, like the brother was saying earlier. All these nations receiving the missile defense systems. That's how Russia being a guard unto them. Because it literally says that those defense systems watch for what's it called, for the missiles and shit, to shoot down or jets or whatever the case may be. And then you go into that word there for a guard in Ezekiel 38. It says to watch, so that's what those missile defense systems are set up for. Go ahead, though.
Verse 7: Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And go ahead, brother.
No, you go ahead.
Yep. And it says, be thou prepared to prepare for thyself. And, and this is one of the main constant things that, when it's speaking on a lot of the military things dealing with Russia, a lot of times you see them in the news is what? Unveiling new weapons or selling weapons or exporting weapons or weapons deals to these other nations. So not only are they preparing themselves, they preparing with their offensive weapons, but they're also preparing and supporting these other nations with these defensive weapons. All right. So it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Yeah, they do. So all these nations that are, under these superpowers, looking for, because it used to be, all right, well, we got to go to America to get protection. Well, now they're saying, fuck America, we're gonna go to Russia instead, right? Because America that's why the scriptures say. We can go back to Joel 3 real quick, because that's what that's what's happening now. These weak nations, man, they're saying, all right, whatever, man. All right, but let me pull up this article real quick while I get back to that. This is get this nigga out here. This is on what is this? CNBC. Found an article on it. CNBC News. It says China's Xi reportedly backs Putin and Russia's bid for security guarantees from the West. So here it is, man. These niggas are talking amongst each other, and then because they already see what's coming, man. Everybody knows war is coming except for Americans. All right, let me just read this a little bit. It says Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin held their second dedicated video call of the year Wednesday amid rising international concerns about tensions on the Russia-Ukraine border. Putin wants support from Xi for his push to obtain binding security guarantees for Russia from the West, a Kremlin official said. So America's going to cross the line soon. And all these nations are, pursuing the Revelation 17, all these allies from the EU. All right, they're going to say the hell with this nigga, man. Russia's right here in our backyard. They can fuck us up. But this nigga wants to, America wants to just play games with everybody on everybody's land. But now, the city of unwalled villages is about to be hurt, man, and be invaded. Okay, be molested. But go ahead. Yeah, brothers.
You want me to go back to that, Joel?
You got that down with that? Yeah.
Con, let me read back from verse 9 again. It says, Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing, man. Countries such as Iran, all right, Turkey, all these shit. Look at it, even Afghanistan. They told them niggas to get, so America doesn't have the power it used to have anymore. Why? Because the big equalizers, the missiles, the intercontinental ballistic missiles at the time, World War II. All right, they were when did they drop it? 45 or whatever. They were the only nation with that kind of capability. But now everybody and their grandmother has intercontinental capabilities. Any nation with a satellite, they have the capabilities, and all they need is the warhead. And so in Russia, they got all kind of hypersonic missiles, some that go underwater, all kind of shit, and also to these other nations. But ultimately, Russia is going to spearhead the destruction of America, followed by Iran, all right, China, the EU, all these nations, India, all right, Cuba, all these nations are going to shoot arrows at this whore. And this we're seeing it beginning in the Middle East. All right, that's why I said proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, because it's going to be a world war. And as you see these articles coming out, just turn on the television, you're going to see all these tensions around the world. You got to really dig. It's not going to be on mainstream media, and sometimes it ain't even going to be on RT and stuff like that. You got to go to these other nations, news channels and stuff like that. It'll tell you what's going on. How there's war all over the earth right now. There's nations that are going through it. Ethiopia, okay. Sudan, all that Middle East area, man. There's been war for years, but now it's been intensifying over the last couple years, like the last 3 years. All right, but they can't. America's not gonna be able to stop it. Nothing, man. They can't stop the prophecy of the Lord that He's bringing to pass. That's why all these things are coming to happen. That's why all these uproars of the people, earthquakes, all these things is because we're at the end of Esau's kingdom, and NATO and the EU they're not gonna fight Russia when it comes to it, man, because they're gonna see that there's two superpowers, Russia and China, and then they're being all these other little nations are joining in with them. So what do you think? They're gonna abandon ship and hop on their boat?
Exactly. All these little nations that are in alliance with NATO and the EU and America, slowly but surely they're starting to pick their sides and choose, like, you know what, we're not on this side anymore. We're gonna go on the other side. We're gonna go on the opposing team. Turkey. We see it there. And it's gonna continue all these different exits out of the EU. Okay. It's leading up to something great. It's leading up to everybody looking at America like they're the bad guy, which they are, and as supposed to be. But now the world is starting to really see it, and everybody's going to be pointing the finger, like.
Yep. The brother froze, but yeah, he froze. I got another article real quick.
America, which is.
Hey, you froze. You have froze for a second. But real quick, let me just show this article. I'm not gonna click on it, but this is another thing. This is acts of war, man. It says Kremlin reveals new independent Russian and Chinese financial systems. So they're ostracizing America. It says Russia and China will develop shared financial structures to enable them to deepen economic ties in a way that foreign states, who are they talking about? America, will be unable to influence. The Kremlin has announced following talks between the country's leaders. So that's even more, proxy wars. So they're trying to put it now. America's going around putting sanctions on everybody. Well, now it's time for America to get no imports coming in. They're putting sanctions on America now because they know, they understand that they got to go to war.
Yep.
And nobody in America seems to realize it until there's fucking, some kind of foreign military shooting up in your street, or you get drafted. You start to get a call because you got to go to get drafted in. Then reality's gonna set in, man. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, if I could say real quick, going back into being a garden to them, like the brother's explaining about these so-called replacement systems, this is also, a sign of Russia so-called being a garden to these other nations, because what they're doing is, it's not just militarily, because you have some nations like Turkey, for instance, they wanted to buy the Patriot system from America, the missile defense system, which is more expensive and a shittier product than the S-400. America didn't want them to get it, so what they do, they went to Russia, kicked them out of the F-35 program. Well, now, Russia just unveiled that Checkmate plane. It's like, well, shit, we could buy their plane. It's cheaper and better. All right, you got the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. All right, so they don't have to go through with the, the regular petrol, the American system type situation, and, America's trying to stop that, and that's going out to basically Europe, where a lot of America's allies are at, and they're questioning deals like that, with the pullout situation. All right. And they're questioning all these situations as far as, like with the Australia and I believe it was France situation with the submarines that America took that deal from. So now everybody's looking at them sideways, man. All right. Not to mention the BRICS nations to replace the SWIFT system as far as selling gas. All right. So look, like the brother was going into, Russia, alongside with China, they're all setting up these systems to, how do we say, if these other nations stop depending on America, it's not just so-called militarily. All right. They always have, they pretty much are now having the replacement systems for all these different things, so that, let's say we were to go on forever, but, if they was to stop dealing with America, they could just, jump on board with the Russian side, but this is why America's ultimately going to, they're going to try to go push the button up against them, man. All right. Yeah. But you brothers got it.
Yeah, I got another article to back you up on what you just said. All right, these missile defense systems. Look, even America's allies. This is not Turkey. This is Saudi Arabia. Says U.S. ally Saudi Arabia would be well advised to look at Russian missiles. All right, so they're just saying that it says. I'll just read the quote. It says this system can alleviate practically all concerns that the kingdom has in terms of defense from tactical ballistic missiles at minimum cost and maximum efficiency. So they're saying that, look, Russians is superior and cheaper. And that, here's another proof that there's war going all around the place. All right, so it happens to be exact threat. It happens to be the exact threat that Saudi Arabia currently faces from its opponents in Yemen. So they even Yemen and Saudi Arabia going at it. So imagine if Saudi Arabia was to buy some of these missile defense systems from Russia, America be hurt. That's pretty much them saying, look, we're cutting ties with you, man. You know, they approved 650 million to sell to Saudi Arabia. Man, they're gonna cancel that contract and go for the cheaper and more efficient, all right, shit that's been proven defense systems. America's defense systems have shown themselves to be trash. Go ahead, though, brother.
Yep. Let me grab this here precept. Oh, go ahead, brother. Aria, you had some?
No. I was asking you have more of that, Joe, but go ahead, get your precept.
Con, this is
No, you got it, brother. I got some, but you got it first.
Con, this is going back into something that the brother Ash said a little earlier about all these nations are going to come in conglomeration under Russia. You know, pretty much pointing those arrows at them. This is in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain." So, hey, you know, this is going to be aimed at Babylon, which is America, all right, led by Russia, all right, you know, but it's going to be an assembly of great nations, all right, and they're going to all have their arrows pointed over at America, man. All right, they're going to all let them fly off, man. All right, so this is why you see in Russia, you know, preparing, you know, and getting these exports of these missile defense systems and everything else like that, you know, whereas America is going the route of putting their military bases up around the borders of Russia. But hey, you know, America forgot to treat their people, their allies, kind of good, man. So now Russia's going over there, providing them with good deals and everything else like that, making America, you know, pretty much cut ties, you know, and going into like, you know, basically giving them a better deal, man. One that they really can't refuse, because what does these nations really benefit, all right, from hanging on sides with America, man? All right, they're buying more expensive oil with a cheaper quality. All right, they're being drugged into these wars where they don't get none of the resources out of it. All right, but they have to keep spending on all these things, and then they're constantly putting back and forth quarrels with these other nations that can actually benefit them, man. All right, so there's no benefit for them to keep hanging on with America, and they're starting to wake up from this Babylonian juice and realize those things, man. All right, so Russia don't really have to sit there and quote unquote deceive them about certain things. They're like, look, man, it's proven our missile defense systems is better than theirs, and it's cheaper. All of our stuff is cheaper and better, man. I don't know why they charge you for this old ass shit, man. And America doesn't really plan on upgrading their so-called old, outdated missile defense systems, because they have a doctrine of preemptive strike, where they plan is to just hit you first. You know, they don't really plan on a quote unquote retaliation strike. And if you notice how they have their war set up, you know, they're always on the other side of the globe, you know. But hey, you know, Russia is preparing for those things while America's falling behind. All right, but that's all according to prophecy, because hey, it says, let me get this on the next page. Jeremiah 50 and 51 and 11, it says, "Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple." So ultimately, you know, the Most High have it set up that where, you know, Russia is advancing their military equipment right now, basically to take America off the face of the earth, man. All right, but you got it, brothers.
Yeah, Russia's warning. They keep warning about it says here, I got a little article. It says in the past month, an alleged buildup of Russian military forces to Ukraine has led numerous claims that Moscow is planning an invasion to head off this supposed danger. Western states have this past week threatened Putin government with massive consequences. The Kremlin has consistently denied it is prepping an attack, and instead has demanded NATO, which is who spearheads NATO, okay, he's America, pledge that it will not expand any further to the east. So Russia's telling you, y'all need to stop coming closer to the border. Ukraine's long-held ambitions to join the bloc, it says, would cross a red line. It would provoke a stern response. So Russia's not playing, man. You know, and like brothers. We have more on that where you just read?
No, that was it, brother.
Yeah, go back to that Joel, and let's finish that off, because this, you know, with all these things going off in the Baltic region, all right, and then we're keeping our eye towards the Middle East, you know, the Israel and Iran whole scenario going down right now. We'll see what, you know, how that moves forward. You know, because really any day now you already see what they're doing with the Vicky. So any day now, they just gonna unroll the next step, man. They said just today they were saying, oh, this new variant is gonna speed up even like we've never seen before. They're talking about by Christmas time, niggas everywhere are gonna be seeing it. So the chip is real close, man. So that's why all these things is happening because when the chip is implemented mandatory, it's not gonna be months and months. A year or two goes by before World War III breaks out. Now that shit gonna happen quick, man. That's why we see this shit happening right now because the stage is being set. Go ahead though. You start back where you left off.
Yep. Let me go back. Well, let's just start back at 9. I was on verse 10. Verse 9 again, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. All right. Hey, and that's one of the things you see going on globally right now. A lot of these nations aren't really, how do I say, pushing or promoting or advancing just regular shit, you know what I'm saying, with their so-called manufacturing and things like that, man. All right, but what are they actually manufacturing, man? Or what is their main investment in? All right, it's either military infrastructure, all right, or ways of surviving after America, preparing for this war one way or the other, man. All right. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. It says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Going down into, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, the Middle East, man, that Jehoshaphat is Yahweh's judgment, That's where the Lord's judgment is going to begin at, man. Complete destruction, all right, because World War III is going to be chaotic over there. And then it's going to get to the point where they're just going to shoot missiles off, say, fuck it. And that's in the midst of the Lord returning. So it's gonna get real bad, and all the heathen are gonna be out there. Let me I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading. I'm gonna see all the nations that have military out in the Middle East right now.
Going back to Joel 3:13, it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. It says, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decisions. And, that's going into World War. Go ahead.
Slakia, I was just going to say, yeah, that destruction is basically ready. It's ripe. It's ready to go. The press is full. You talk about being a meat grinder out there. All right. So this is what everything is starting to point towards that region of the earth. All right. You see all the nations starting to situate over in that region, and it's all by design. It's all by a tactical effort of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The scriptures say that the Lord is a man of war. All right, Yahweh is his name. The Lord is setting this up so that all these nations, they're going to be in the Middle East to fight each other. All right, and then ultimately get taken out by Yahweh Shah. When that's a whole nother story. But that's the reason where everybody's going to start culminating. All right. And we're seeing it right now. The brother's about to bring up the facts. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
I'm still looking. It's loading.
Oh, okay. I got a scripture then. I'll bring out one scripture if I could. In the book of Second Esdras, 16th chapter. Bring it up. Second Esdras, the 16th chapter. I'll start at the top. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with salt. Go ahead.
Key reason, but that's a it says Syria, Egypt, because all that region is in conflicts right now, man, and it's keep intensifying with this Iran and Israel. All right, but there's the Gaza Strip, that's a fucking nightmare. All right, Egypt, Libya, Syria, all that shit is in shambles because of Esau, Edom.
Reading on, I'll read it again. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. So death and destruction is already written in the books. Okay, it's on the tables. You can't unwrite it. You can't erase it. You can't get a eraser and scratch it out. No, their destruction is at hand. All right, and this is what the prophecy is saying. The scriptures talk. We read it. They could come. Actually, I'll read it a little bit later if the Lord wills it. Book of Isaiah, the 34th chapter. It says, I'll read it right now. It says, from the top, it says, Isaiah 34:1, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it, for the indignation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is upon all nations, and his fury upon all armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter. All right, and we're reading in Joel how everybody's starting to culminate in the valley, valley of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat. All right, everybody's starting to gather in that region there to what? To receive their judgment, to receive their judgment. Huge judgments coming to the earth. All right, in the way by the way of nuclear war, and of course Yahweh and the holy hosts. These things are written, and now we're starting to see the beginning stage. Well, we've been seeing the beginning stage of it, but in real time, this is starting to happen. And really, the only thing that's next is for someone to press that red button. Okay, if you know what we mean. You brothers got it.
Con, you found that article, Ash?
Nah, it just showing me what American ones was. It's not showing me all the nations.
Yeah,
Con, let me go back to.
You got it. No, go ahead, David. Slaki. You got it. There's a delay,
yep.
So Slaki.
Con, let me go back to this. Joel 3:14. It says, multitudes in the valley of decisions, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decisions. Also letting you know that this is going to be a world war. All right. Everybody's going to be pretty much involved into this here situation, man. All right. It's not going to just be a small conflict between two nations where all the other nations are just ignoring the things that's going on, man. All right. Pretty much all nations are going to be involved in this here situation, man. All right. So, hey, man, this is going to be that last and final war, man. All right. Multitudes in the valley of decisions, man. All right. But you got it, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, in that valley of decision, it's going to be. I'd love to see all the nations that are out there, because there's 18 nations on the earth, for real, like, as far as biblical nations, but of all the actual, nations that Esau's established and these other nations broke off, did this and that. Now they have their own countries. Hey, they all have, a lot of them have standing armies, and a lot of them within the coalition. They're on either one side. They're either on the side of the beast, or they're on the side of Russia. Okay, those are the only sides that really matter. Everybody else, you just pawns in this thing. That's where you got these proxy wars that have been popping up here and there. These are the big nations that are controlling all this. All right, Israel, the least of the flock. Okay, he has a lot of pull. Okay, in this thing. All right. This Edomite, this Israeli Edomite, he has a lot of pull in this thing. He's a big part of this prophecy, and now we're starting to see it all really. It's starting to make it makes sense to us, all right, because we can break it down through the scriptures, but the rest of the world is not really understanding how serious of a matter this really is. And when we talk about drafts, because we've been talking about it, brother mentioned it earlier. All right, this is something that's actually on the tables where. If this nation, America, United States, if it's desperate enough, it'll send anybody out there into the war, because you're gonna need an army. All these nations are gathering, and they believe. And what did Joel say? It said, beat their
plowshares. I'll read it for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, this is Joel. Let me get it real quick. 3:10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong.
Let the weak say I am strong. So now these weaker nations, they have to pick a side, and now they have funded. Okay, a lot of them they're not really putting any of their finances, so to speak, to anything agricultural or educational. All right, and that's a funny thing too, because a lot of these nations are not putting anything in their education system, but yet they're far more advanced than us in the education field than the United States, but that's a whole nother story. All right, but they're putting their money into war. A lot of these nations are dirt poor. You go over there, straight poverty. Go to Russia, poverty. Syria and Yemen. Look at Yemen. Yemen is straight poor, poverty stricken. Okay, people starving to death. All right, but they're in the midst of a war right now. Okay, they're getting their ass beat, but they're in the midst of a war. All right, these things are happening on a daily basis. Drone strikes every day. You don't hear about them a lot because it's really none of you Americans' business, but these things are happening. And you can't say that you can't tell some of these people in the Middle East right now that we in the end times. They're going through war every single day. And so now we're trying to tell you that you Americans, you might get sent over there too to pick up, have to put on a helmet, put on some camouflage, and you're gonna give you an M16. You have to figure out how to use that motherfucker and throw you out there on the front lines because this is the end time. And you think you're doing something for your country when you're doing that. A lot of you people are going to be out there proud as hell, just to get destroyed. But you got it, brothers.
Yeah, I got an article. I found out. This is the only thing I could find really short notice. But check this out. Look at all the all I could find was list of countries with overseas military bases. It wouldn't give me just in the Middle East, but this will do, and it's going to improve a lot here. So check it out. The nations with overseas countries are pretty much all beast nations. Outside of the beast nations, well, let's see Australia. They have one in the United Arab Emirates, which is the Middle East. Which they're not part of the beast, but there's a direct. They pretty much go back to Great Britain. Australia. Right. You got Canada, a NATO member. They got a military base in Kuwait. That's the Middle East. Senegal, that's West Africa. All right, China, which is Moab. They got Djibouti, which is in North East Africa. You got Pakistan, because they consider that Asia, but that's still the Middle East. Right. France, another NATO nation, or the Beast Nation. Djibouti, the UAE, Lebanon. Syria, Iraq, Jordan, that's all the Middle East. Germany, another beast nation. Greece, another beast nation. India, which Elam, they got Oman, that's in the Middle East. What else? Iran, of course. Italy, another beast nation. Okay. Japan, they got one in Djibouti as well, which is literally right there off of almost by the Red Sea. Okay. It's near Saudi Arabia across that, it's at the bottom almost by Ethiopia. But Netherlands, another beast nation. Pakistan, Elam, Russia, which is the Medes. They have the second most, because you see how all these nations have the most so far is probably France and Russia. You know what? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 14, 15 from France. But these are just bases, these are not saying they got troops. These are actual bases abroad. All right. And then Russia got a good 14, 15. Saudi Arabia. All right. Yemen. They got a base in Yemen. Singapore. They got they ain't got none in the Middle East, but Taiwan. They got Turkey. They got a bunch of in Syria, Qatar, Iraq. Yeah, Djibouti. That's a strategic place right there. Yeah. Matter of fact, it's right here. Let me see if I can show it on the map. Zoom in a little bit. Give you a rough idea of where it's at. You see where the horn is right here? Yep. That horn, that's where it's at right there, that area. Or it might be this little, but nonetheless, it's a strategic place, okay? Because of the sea, the port right there, This is where all that shit be going down, The Saudi Arabia right there, so a lot of shit be going down right there in that area. Okay, so you got Turkey, you got a place in Syria, the UAE, and then the United Kingdom, of course. So shit, they pretty much got the 10 horns in this bitch. And then you got the United States, and look how many bases they got everywhere, man. Bunch of devils. Yeah. Look at this shit. The list just goes on. We ain't the bees. There you go. Hey, come on, bunch of damn hypocrites. Yeah. Okay, but that's the point I wanted to bring out.
Yeah. And that goes to another scripture where they say they don't keep at home. You know, these Edomites, that is, they're all over the place. That's in the book of Habakkuk. Okay, they have military bases. I mean, this place this needs divine intervention, because look, war is about to happen. Everybody got their chess pieces put in a specific place, for a specific reason, and that day is coming. All right, like that's the thing with, hey man, there's gonna be a day that's gonna come where they're gonna have to press the button. They're gonna have to press the red button. Everybody's gonna have to press it. Everybody's gonna have to get boots on the ground. Everybody's gonna have to get the drones out. You're gonna have to bring out the big guns, the big military secret, secret projects. You're gonna have to bring them out. That day is gonna come. And here it is. We're getting ready to enter into a new so-called year. And every time around this, around the new year comes, the next big, prophecy starts to happen. So we're looking at we're basically in the precipice or the threshold of the big prophecies, the very big prophecies that we're talking about right here. True war. The scriptures talk about Yahushua said that you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. I've been hearing of wars and rumors of wars ever since I've been born. So we got to be in that time, and it's only been bubbling up to a head. And when that thing busts, that means everybody's gonna have to, hey, you're gonna have to take part in this thing, or you're gonna have to pick a side. But we picked the side of Yahushua because we understand what's gonna happen. That all this needs to happen. All these things must come to pass, and the end is not yet. Brothers got it.
Yeah, and the thing is, well, mainly here in America, of course, but throughout the world, they're doing it right now. They're gonna be beating people over the head. To still trying to get you to get your next booster, telling you got to get this, and then telling you got to take a chip, and then they're gonna have killer robots in the streets. So it's gonna be all out chaos, man. You're gonna have a war on your street, and then America's gonna be in World War III. So overall, it ain't looking too good for the world, let alone America. Shit. Okay.
Hey, I got a quick precept on something that you brothers was going into. Speaking about all these different military bases, the brother quoted this, but I want to read something in here in Habakkuk 2, 5, and 6. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples. Spreading out his philosophies and things like that, transgressing by the wine. Oh, we'll help you out if anybody come up against you and everything else like that, But nevertheless, he's pretty much putting his bases every damn where, man. All right, let me go to verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, and how long to him that laid it himself with thick clay. Now, one of the things that the brother was going into with all these military bases is, when you look at the how do I put it, the top like the countries that spend the most on their military budgets, right? Now America spends more, I believe, than the next 7 or 9 countries combined, right? So the top ones under that is like China and Russia.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
GDP. How much is the GDP they spend on their military?
Right. Now, if you just combine Russia and China together, you would think that they would be able to spend more money on their military than America does, but it's, the next 7 to 9 countries combined, all right, spend less than what America does. Now, going back into the old Roman Empire, they spread their military so damn far that they couldn't pretty much afford to pay for it all, man. All right, and that's what's going on right now. You got the devaluation of the American dollar, keep printing. All right, but look, man, it's forcing a lot of these nations to want to so-called ditch the American dollar, man. All right, how long are you going to keep putting this here thick clay on yourself, man? This thick debt, man. Now your dollar's worth nothing. So now a lot of these people are trying to leave the American dollar, all right, going into the petrodollar and getting off of that system, which is helping supply the beast to keep going on with this here military, man. All right, but see, their own plans and their own snares is trapping them up, man. Let's just keep spinning. Let's just keep printing. Let's just keep spinning. Well, everybody that's holding your dollar, giving it value, is now starting to ditch that. All right, but you brothers got it.
Yeah, we just read earlier how the 2 superpowers are getting together to start their own financial shit.
Mm-hmm.
So once they do that, everybody else is going to abandon it too. They're going to say, to hell with the petrodollar, And then they're already moving away from all these nations are already going digital currencies, central bank digital currency. So it's not much longer to, they have to fully convert over to that new monetary system, which is all bullshit because it's all going to be one world order. This just Esau just shows you divisions and shit. Really, it's the Lord making division, but it's Esau's divided, man. Satan divided against himself. A house cannot stand, be divided, man. And Esau, the Most High, is using the pride of these American Edomites to have the rest of the Edomites despise them, so that they can come up against this whore.
I got a quick one, real quick. Go ahead.
Real quick, just to make a point. That's why the real war is really Esau versus Esau. When you really come down to it, they're just clashing with each other. And that's why that this current structure it can't stand. It is no way if the same nation is warring against itself. Ultimately, that's what it really is. Even though it's two separate, Russia, United States, France, and all these different places, it's all Esau at the end of the day. So it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. But you got to doubt that.
Cotton, this is Obadiah 1:7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him." So, hey, you have a lot of these nations that are being propped up by America, whether they be, NATO and EU members, or either, I forgot, there's a term for it, but there's non-NATO and EU members that are pretty much allies to them anyway. You know what I'm saying? But in these nations are, yep.
The UN, yep.
No, I mean, just there's other little smaller groups like you have one with the Arabs and stuff like that. They have their own little coalition, but they still up under pretty much Esau and stuff like that. You just don't call them NATO or the EU. But nevertheless, America props them up. Like, for instance, the Saudi Arabia situation, man. All right, America is pretty much propping them up. Forcing everybody to buy oil from them. You know what I'm saying? To put money into their pockets. And now, if you look at them militarily, it's like, well, if America was to pull out, they don't really have a military, because damn near all their military equipment is America's military equipment. They that are being propped up by America and everything else like that. But see, you're starting to see these types of things take place, man. All right, these nations are now, let me read it again. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him." So these nations that was so-called being propped up or built up or being fed by America, all right, now, they're saying, hey, man, y'all was feeding us these little McDonald's double cheeseburgers. They go over here trying to feed us steaks, real food. You know what I'm saying? Why we want to keep eating these double cheeseburgers when we can go over here and eat these steaks, man? All right. And so now these nations they're starting to wake up to see, the whole time we've been dealing with America has only been causing us problems, man. All right. We can deal over here with these other folks and not have these problems with America. We don't really like them anyway. We was just kind of forced to deal with them because, hey, man, they was afraid of America because, World War II, they dropped that damn bomb and it kind of, pretty much put everybody into subjection at that point in time, but now, they seeing that, like the brother brought out earlier, that great equalizer, man. All right. Hey, they can now get this missile technology and stuff from Russia, man. All right. So it's like, well, shit. I mean, if America's a threat and they keep saying that Russia's the threat and everything else, like, we don't even like being up under these people to begin with, man. So let us try our chances over here. So now these people are starting to prevail against them, man. All right. They're now starting to second guess if our relationship is really beneficial to us or if it's only beneficial unto you. All right. But you brothers got it.
Okay, I got a scripture real quick. This is Jeremiah 50, verse 22. It says, "A sound of battle is in the land and of great destructions." And that's the prophets of the Lord mainly. All right. Well, we blowing the trumpet. The Lord made us a prophet unto the nations to let them know what's coming, man. And what that sound we're blowing is the sound of battle. All right, we're playing the trumpet, but there was different sounds that you would blow with the horn or the trumpet, okay, to let you know what it is. All right, there was a horn for the sound, a certain sound for feast, a certain sound for battle. All right, and the battle sound is going out right now. All right, death and destruction, that's what's coming. Verse 23, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?" Right, like we've been going into, man. Nobody respects America. All right, the military is a damn joke. Even though this is a strong military still. That's why nobody has tried it yet. But it's just because the Lord is holding back the winds, man. Because America's the biggest joke on the planet. There's article after article and researches and surveys they've been doing with the military telling you how they're not ready to go to war, how most of them is a bunch of idiots. All right, now you're letting women on the front lines. You got trannies in your military. You're spread too thin. America is really not prepared for war, man. It says, how has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Yeah, nobody. This place is the scum of the earth now. All right, and soon it's going to actually become a true desolation, a desolate wilderness. All right, but right now nobody's caring. Nobody shows respect to the American military like they were scared and trembled back then. They're not. They say what these nations are saying is do it. All right, and we're gonna retaliate. That's how the hammer of the earth. The Lord is breaking the hammer of the earth. All right, the one that's going around and you see, some of these. The reason some of these military men come back so damn bugged out is because the shit they be doing out there. Because niggas go to war every day in the Middle East, and they not bugged out. They not on antidepressants. They're not on Xanax and Zoloft and all kind of weird shit. No, it's the shit the vile shit that they be doing out there, and then they be bugged the hell out. Because this niggas that live, they've been since they were born and have known nothing but war, and they ain't strung out on drugs like these losers out here in America. So it's the shit they do. I know this from firsthand. Some of the shit that these niggas have told me. They do some vile shit, rape women out there, kill kids. All right, all kind of wicked shit. They just be killing for fun out there, man. But they won't put that on the news. And these are the mighty men of Babylon, though. Just a bunch of pathetic excuses for a human being, man. All right, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. Hey, what's that snare? They were the first ones to make the weapons of mass destruction. Now everybody got them. They were too pompous and too proud. From World War II to the space race, the Cold War, all of that. They have just gotten prouder and prouder. And now here it is in 2021, about to be 2022. And then now they're like, so the top officials, they're like, oh shit, you know what? It's only the retarded niggas out here on the streets that think America is proud. Nobody can invade us, and nobody wants to go to war with us. Nah, you don't want to go to war with Russia or China. It says, and thou was not, O Babylon, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. There you go, man. America has striven. The number one place that has striven against the Lord the most, man. Not only because of what he's done to his people, but this is where the Lord was crucified again, as the scriptures say in Revelation. This is Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, Babylon, all the wicked empires all put together. The most atrocious things you've ever seen on the planet have been pushed out from America, okay? These philosophies, the image of the beast, is really gone forth from America. And now all these other nations have taken it and got drunken off of it. But now they're mad. They're angry. They're waking up to the bullshit, smelling the fresh air. All right. And they said, this is, again, they look at the atrocities they did to the children of Israel here. And then they've gone around and raped and brought nothing but death and destruction everywhere they've gone. That's why they got all these military bases everywhere. That's why these nations want America out, man. That's what they were throwing. You see, they were on the news here in America. They were saying, "Oh, look, the Taliban, they're beating the women. Look, the women are better off with you, damn Americans gone. These niggas are talking about these are the terrorists, mass terrorists. But after you Americans left, they was over there at the festivals, riding in the bumper cars, riding the big old wheel. What's it called? The Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
They were having parties because they were finally glad that the white devil, as they call him, was gone.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
That's how the whole earth is going to be when this man is completely gone, bro. Yeah. And in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, I'm going to read a few verses out of this.
Slucky, let me read one more verse here.
Okay.
This is back in Jeremiah 50 and 25. It says, Yahweh hath opened his armory, and that's the snare that he laid for Esau, mainly here in America, but ultimately all of Esau, because they're going to kill each other with it. just like in World War One, World War Two. All right, it was all Edom on Edom crime. Those were the nations mainly fighting against each other. Yeah, you had some African nations and Chinese, but they're just stupid because they went along with this devil.
Yeah.
But this is going to be the weapons to end all this bullshit. It says, "Hath opened it. The Lord hath opened His armory and hath brought forth the weapons of His indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans." Man, so hey, America is going to be totally destroyed off the face of the earth, and it said this is the work of the Lord. All right, these are His weapons. He made you make them so you can kill yourself and your own empire with your own weapons. Go ahead, though, brother. You got it.
Hey, that's poetic, man, and that's what we want to see. We can't wait for that day, although we have to wait. But we're going to get a couple of precepts in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Let's start at verse 3. It says, "And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased." And that day is coming where that golden city, specifically United States. Cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's kind of frozen, but I can hear you.
Damn it.
Yo. Okay, yeah, now you're good.
I don't know if you can you hear me? It cut out.
Yes. Speak now or we're moving on.
Salakia, I don't know if you can hear me. It cut out. It froze.
Yeah, we can hear you, brother. Can you hear us?
I hear you now. Yes, I hear you now.
Right.
Salakia. All right. The Golden City. Yeah, how have the Golden City ceased? Hey, and that day is coming with the Golden City. America is going to be completely through. All right. You know, the one that, let me keep reading. It says, "The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger and persecuted and is persecuted and none hindereth." Right. So that man is going to be completely taken out, who smote the people with a continuous stroke, specifically the Israelites, but all nations. He that ruled the nations in anger. Okay, now to the point where all the nations are starting to fight against, or getting ready to pick up weapons and fight against the Golden City. Skip down a little bit to verse 11. It says, verse 10 even. It says, "All they that speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" Yeah, you just mentioned all these nations have nuclear weapons. They have nuclear capabilities. They have hypersonic capabilities and these different technologies that was only really reserved for the United States or Russia. Now everybody got it. It says, "Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee." So this man is completely done, bro. "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" So this man who's basically brought hell, death, and destruction upon the whole earth, the Lord, his days are basically numbered. All right, and all nations are looking at him, basically licking their chops, waiting for a moment to come up over the whore, the nation of Babylon the Great, which is America. Everybody's waiting for their opportunity to get their lick. All right, and everything is basically culminating into that point in which, again, America there's no way it could win. It's going to lose. It's prophesied to lose, and we're all going to live to see it lose. All right, we're in those days, and she's going to fall. But that's all I had.
You was in Isaiah 14, right?
I was in Isaiah 14.
I got the word there for Golden City. It's Madaba. That says boisterous, raging behavior, boisterous behavior. So that's what America is, man. So that's how you know what the Golden City is. The place with boisterous behavior, raging behavior. And then let me look up the word boisterous just to further edify. It says boisterous, noisy, energetic. That's a new speak though. Okay, here we go. It says noisily, turbulent, rowdy. All right, tumultuous. All right, so go back here. back in the word for Golden City, I went to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, and it says, you go read down, it says, but most, okay, so it gives a couple explanations, and then you go to the end, it says, but most of the ancient versions have taken it differently, you know, what it means, the word means. It says, and have expressed the word there. I can't really see it because I can't zoom in. It's the Hebrew word there, but it says oppression. So what other city is the city of oppression, man?
America.
Babylon the Great, America, man. But yeah, that's all I had. All right, so Lord's will. This was edifying. Hey man, shit's going down. Most High is making moves. Prophecy. The chessboards are on the. All right, the chess pieces are all set up, ready to go. You know, and I'm not talking about the game is about to start. I'm talking about the game is about to end. All right, the pieces have been strategically placed around the board to make a swift move to destroy this place, man. All right, so the Lord's going to end this place soon, man. Continue to watch. All right, diligently measure the times. All right, watch ye and pray. All right, so with that, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakafadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutation and much love to Yakim out there pushing out his word in true sincerity. Abad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.